Hello, 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 guys. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. This is your man, ChukwumaijemNwosu, the solutionist. And I want to say thank you, guys. Thank you so much for all of you guys subscribing, joining the channel, spreading the word, passing on the message to other men so that, you guys can see, most of these ideas and practical means of earning a living or making some money or taking money from people, they're very practical. They're very simple. These are things that I've experienced. These are things I've done. I would never tell you something that I did not experience directly or know someone very closely related to me did not experience. So that's the whole point of this channel, to basically zero out the excuse that most men have why they cannot earn. Because in the world today, most things are financially based. And back in the day, what makes you a man is acquiring the kind of resource that enables you to have cattle, fruits, a farm, cows to take care of your family. Today, those resources have been replaced with cash, money, precious metals, real estate. Just those are the new resources. Crypto, right? Having a fleet of cars, some assets, some just for fun toys, all that kind of stuff. Having the most beautiful women around you. These are the new resources in the modern world today, right? I just came off Instagram Live, had a very good talk over there with some very good guys, young guys that follow me, and we always have some high level conversation. Shout out to 19 Keys. And today, the topic of the day, we're going to talk about, how you could get to $96,000, basically call it $100,000 using Uber, Lyft, VIO combined in your hustle. Okay. So here's the thing, in New York, right? Me and my dad will run a car rental business. We have some cars people use to drive Uber or drive taxi over there in New York. Sometimes my dad drives himself. My dad is a chauffeur, has a chauffeur, right? My dad is a chauffeur driver. My dad owned the limo business here in Chicago a long time ago, back when I was in high school. My dad, has been a long time taxi cab owner. He has owned a restaurant here in Chicago. My dad has been a businessman all his life. Okay, ever since he came to the United States. He worked for a little bit, then he went into business. We Nigerians, we love business. Business is our life because we can just like we'll be damned to work for another man. Like it's just not a natural state for us. We like to hustle and kill what we eat. And some people that makes them very uncomfortable. Me, that's where I feel safe. You understand? And that's what men do. So if you want to learn about being a man, go check out the other channel, ChukwumaijemNwosu Business Class. We'll teach you everything you know about your mindset and how to become a man and move like a man in the world today. All right, let's get to this, okay? Well, if you're listening to this broadcast or this stream, that means you're either driving Uber or you can. So if you're driving Uber, that means you are basically authorized and or could get authorization to drive Lyft and to drive VIO, right? So if you can drive for Uber and you can register all these other companies, that puts you at an advantage. You have all three apps and you're good to go on all three apps. Awesome. So here's the next step, right? So you need to set up or re-engineer your mindset, right? You need to start thinking of this as a business. You can think of it as a hustle, like something you're doing just to pay your rent. You need to think of driving Uber, driving Lyft, driving VIO, or driving all three combined. You have to think of it as a business. And you're trying to get to the next level of the business. What is the next level of the business? I'm glad you asked. We're going to talk about it down the line as we discuss the next steps. So that's the second step. You need to basically re-engineer your mindset to get you in the mind that this is a business and you're trying to get to the top. And who's at the top? You. You are the executive of your destiny. That's where you're headed. You're trying to run this shit. You're trying to be in control of everything that you're doing. Okay. So once the mindset is right, how do you get the mindset right? Reading books, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Fast Lane Millionaire, 1 Minute Millionaire, all these books that talk about financial literacy that puts you in the mindset to become a top earner. These are the books you want to read. Books that talk about discipline, right? Because you want to be the kind of guy that While you're driving Uber, you're not just driving it just for the fuck of it. You're driving Uber and you're paying attention to the peak periods, the periods where money is made the most, the period where you're not sitting down in traffic the most, when you can move, boom, 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 you can make moves and get a quick $100, 150, 200, 300. You know how to maneuver this system. Once you've mastered that, your mindset is ready for the next level. The next level is to set a goal for 100K. This is what we're trying to do here. We're trying to get to $100,000 in cash. Okay? I said 96,000 just to make the thumbnail and the video more attractive because most people say 100K. I didn't want to say 100K. Because when you say 100K, people think it's, like, oh, he's just blowing things out of proportion. He's not going to be able to deliver. But watch me do me. Okay? The goal is to get to 100K. And then you also want to add business line of credit to this 100K. And then another thing you want to do is you want to build good financial relationship with financial houses. How do you do this? Okay. First, you start with the good relationship with the financial houses. You want to open, if you've watched any of my videos, I talk about the 5 bank accounts: income, expense, tax, okay, savings, and miscellaneous. Okay. This is emergency, miscellaneous, whatever, this play money, whatever you want to call that account, that's cool. All right. So once you have the ultimate 5, the 5 bank accounts, this is what's going to make you rich. Okay. Because remember, you're not trying to just drive Uber. We're talking about getting to 100 grand. Because once you get to 100 grand, you repeat it 10 times, you're a fucking millionaire. So don't sleep on me now. Pay attention. Okay. The next step now is to build those bank accounts. And then through those bank accounts, start building your lines of credit. If you guys know me, you already understand how to go after the Fidelity credit play. You drive your Uber, you start putting $100 every week into Fidelity. Once it gets to $1,000, move that around. Buy some Apple, buy some 3M stocks, okay? Buy some Coca-Cola, buy some key companies that you know that are always going to be fundamental part of United States economy. Companies that if they crumble, the day they crumble, America is dead. Buy those stocks. Don't buy some bullshit stock. Don't buy some of these companies that are here today, gone tomorrow. Don't do that. Okay? So once you get your Fidelity card in position, you're already set up for about $7,000 plus. Fidelity could easily give you $10,000 to $15,000 if you're over 650 and you're close to 700, maybe over 700. They will give you easy $10,000 to $15,000. Now you go to Costco with that same credit score, you get 5,000 plus. You could get 10,000, 15,000 from Costco. That's under your belt. So you keep going around. Go watch some of my other videos to tell you about 10 places to get from. Talking about Home Depot, Walmart, Sam's Club, Joanne Fabrics, PayPal, yeah, Shell gas station, Road Trip, Pilot, BP. Just add all those credit. Get all of them. Don't worry about it. I'll tell you what we're doing here. Just get all of them. Make sure you have at least over $50,000 in credit combined. These people are going to give you 5,000 here, 2,500. Just get all of them, but make sure they're up to $50,000. Okay. So now once you have the lines of credit and you have the bank accounts, now you structure your stuff. You remember you have that expense account. That expense account is going to be linked to every credit card bill that you pay. Right? So you're going to link all your credit cards to that expense account and make sure that all your bills come out from that one account. That's all that account is for. You deposit money there, you spend money from there. Your income account, that's where all the money you're getting in goes to. The only expense that goes in that account, if you want to swipe a card to pay, to put money into your expense account, or you want to write a check to your expense account, right? Your tax account, the same thing. You just write a check from your income account into your tax account, right? Your savings account, same thing. Just write a check from your income account to your savings account. And then you could use money on your savings account from time to time. Maybe you want to buy a stock, you want to put some money in Fidelity, you want to do something random like that, you want to put back money in your income account, whatever. Those are the kind of expenses that come from it. Miscellaneous account, you know what that is. Just your, you want to go shopping, your food, your stuff like that. I would recommend you don't even use your miscellaneous account for that. Maybe you could just put all the money in your miscellaneous account, swipe your credit card for everything, and just use your miscellaneous account to pay for the expenses that are personal, the miscellaneous expenses, right? So you can use your expense account to pay your credit card, but the credit cards that you use for shopping and doing all your miscellaneous stuff, you link those cards to your miscellaneous account and pay their bills from there. So now we have everything set up. I hope you guys are following. Now the goal is 100K. All right. So at the end of it, we want to see 100,000 in the income bank account. That's how we know we're close to our goal or we've gotten to our goal. The credit lines are easy to set up. You already know what you need to do. The good relationship with financial houses comes with all this revolving income and all these transactions that are going in and out of your bank account, those 5 bank accounts. Don't get it twisted. You need all 5 of them. You know, I would recommend more, but sometimes a lot of people cannot manage these things, because you need to be very organized and very clean and neat to be able to keep track of all this stuff and not mess it up. Okay. And all of you guys already know you have to pay your bills on time. I already thought about that in my previous videos. Keep your credit card bills paid before the due date. 2 days, 3 days before the due date, try to pay the full balance. Depending on what you're doing. If you're using a lot of your credit, at least try to pay the minimum before 2-3 days before the due date. Okay. And for every other bill you have, pay them 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year ahead, because that keeps you looking good in the eyes of the financial houses. Okay, that's enough of the credit line, good relationship with financial houses, and the 100K goal talk. Okay, now we're going to get on to the next point. The next point is to get to the hustle. Okay, we're talking about 12 plus hours a day, combining Uber, Lyft, and VIO, hitting all 3 hustles the same. Because remember, if you're doing this and you're going to do it successfully, you have to be in the gym working out. You have to be very healthy, or you have to be very young. Young guys are very vicious. When I was young, I was vicious. I was out here going crazy. I'm still going crazy, but now more calculated. So for those of you that are young, do it now while you're young. Don't wait till you're old. You will lose. Do it now. Be disciplined. Leave those friends that want to party, chase after women. Leave them alone. Get your status up. Your goal is to put yourself in that Guinea, you know, or that Rari, you know what I'm saying? Or that Benz, or that Audi R8, whatever it is, put yourself in something nice and have surplus credit. Have so much credit is crazy. That way, nothing can hold you back in life. That way, you're dangerous. I always talk to men about this. You have to have an element of danger to you so that when people see you, they know you're nothing to play with. They know you've put yourself through some of the rigorous exercises of life to get to where you're going. So now we're going to keep going. The next thing, after putting all these 12 hours days, going to the gym, working out, putting yourself in the best shape so that you could be in a good shape while you're out here destroying it, you want to start stacking up, you know? And part of this stacking up is just organizing yourself, going to Costco, getting that Costco card that I told you guys about, $5,000 plus. And the Costco card would actually help you with gas. So whenever you're driving and you need to buy gas, go to Costco, fill up your tank. Don't be like all these cheap guys always buying $10, $5 gas. That is a very bad behavior. When you get to the pump, fill up your tank. The car will not go anywhere without gasoline. Stop playing yourself. You're using an electric car, get a full charge. Do it once and for all, and then just ease your mind. Okay, so that's what that card. And remember, that Costco card is an expense card, so you're going to link it to the expense account. Okay, and you're just going to use it. That card is going to be strictly for gas or whatever. If you shop at Costco and stuff like that, you need to buy water and stuff. You could go ahead and do that. Okay. The next step is to find a very reliable, quick mechanic, someone that will handle all your maintenance, so that immediately you're down, you need brake pads, change, rotor, something quick. You go in there, boom, 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 he gets you out. Don't hesitate to give them a little bit of motivation, African motivation. Give them some African motivation so that they put you ahead of the line and get you out of there. Because remember, your time is ticking. You don't have time. Remember, you're on schedule for something, for 100 grand. You're moving towards a goal. You're not just any customer. You're just not that, you're not just anybody. You're on a mission to be somebody. So you got to treat yourself very important. Your time is very valuable. Don't let these people play you. Give them some African motivation so they can put you into the shop and get you out so you get back to that bag. Okay? So the next step is this. You have to decide if the car that you're using for this Uber, you want to rent it, lease it, own it, or whatever. In most cases, I recommend you rent it so that way, or rent or lease, so that way, like some of the obligations of ownership is averted. Like you don't have to deal with it. So if you lease a car and it needs maintenance, you just go back to the dealership and they deal with that nonsense. If you rent the car, the same thing is on the renter, on the person that rents the car to you. If you own a car, This is the case where I'm talking about where you have to get a quick and reliable mechanic. There's nothing wrong with owning your own car and doing this with it. You just have to understand that basically it could even be better for you because that way you're responsible for your own maintenance and you don't have to go sit in all these dealerships for long lines of maintenance and all that kind of stuff. Unless you bought it with the kind of dealership that prioritizes you when you come in there and understand you're an Uber driver, that's how you make your living, and you need to get back on the road. Then take advantage of that. Okay. The next step is right. You, in addition to your $100,000 goal and your credit line and those 5 bank accounts, you have to understand that the goal is to build a rental fleet. Remember how you're driving Uber, Lyft, and VIO? You could also become the kind of the person that rents out the cars to the people that goes and drive Uber, Lyft, and VIO. Now, once you get to this point, you're putting yourself in a position of power. You're beginning to get into the passive phase of income generation. At this point, you get to relax and people make you the money. It's almost like real estate. It's a beautiful thing. If you have it well structured, you're well organized, you don't outdo yourself and get, put, I mean, you can stress yourself out. Don't, I just make sure you can handle whatever you're putting yourself through. That's all it is. Gauge stuff well. So you want to build a rental fleet for people that want to drive Uber and people that want to do Turo. So at this point, you want to start understanding how you could leverage both apps and put yourself in a better position. So provide cars for people that want to drive Uber, provide cars for renters that want to rent on Turo, and sit back, handle the maintenance, and collect the rewards of your hard work. Okay? Now you want to build a system that runs on autopilot. This involves getting Turo cars, getting Uber cars, knowing where you could park the cars, organize them, have a system like a key box system, like the ones that the real estate agents use, and put them somewhere by the car, put them somewhere by your building or something like that where renters could access them without you meeting some of these people. Because sometimes some renters are crazy and some people, they see you in person and it basically twerps however they feel about you, and they could just, because of how they feel about you, they could just go treat your car a whole different way. So sometimes that human contact is not necessary. Okay, so you want to build a system that enables you running up autopilot, so you could be in Ibiza having fun, and people are still being able to drop off your car and pick up your car and rent cars. Okay, so you want to build a nice system, even if you have to have someone you pay some little money to go check, make sure the cars were returned, clean out, do little stuff, vacuum. You could use your little brother, you could use somebody, a family member, your parents that are retired, somebody, and just have a whole system going. Don't feel bad to involve the geriatrics, the older people, your your parents, so that they could come in, because sometimes old people, they need to have something going. That's what keeps them alive. So get your family involved, make it a family business, get everybody involved, make it a business you do with your girlfriend, your wife, somebody. You know what I mean? But don't give away too much secrets to the enemy. Talking about the girlfriend, the wife is your family. So you need to know the difference between those. Then the next step now is that you want to keep building that credit and that cash flow, because the credit and the cash flow is what will get you to the next phase. Assuming you're growing your rental fleet from 1 car to 2 cars to 3 cars to 4 cars and stuff like that, don't stop building that credit. Don't stop building that cash flow. Every 6 months, as long as you're paying your bills diligently on those credit cards and everything else, keep requesting an increase in in your credit limit or your credit line. Okay, keep asking for those things and keep increasing your cash flow. All your cash goes into the income account. Do not spend cash unless extremely necessary. And even in that case, you could just Zelle, so that way your taxes are easy on you. Just all you do is just take your bank statement and give it to your accountant. Okay. So when people ask you for, just Zelle them or Cash App or something like that. So organize your paperwork and your expenses in such a way that it's very easy for you, streamline, so you can easily do your taxes. All right. I'll do a whole video on how to go about taxes so that you could pay the least possible amount of taxes. Okay. So that's what you want to do. You want to get the business to a point where it's running on autopilot and you have a nice system in place. Okay. You keep building that credit and that cash flow so that it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay. So the next thing is that you want to look at your cars that you rent out to both Turo and Uber drivers. You want to look at it like real estate, right? Because you're providing cars to renters, and find the best way to structure it so that you have enough cash flow that you could actually go into the real estate, if you get my drift. You want to actually start buying houses now with the income coming from the cars you're renting to Uber drivers and the cars you're renting to tour drivers. Remember, now you're a big boy. You're going up in the world. You've hit that 100K mark. You've hit that. Your credit limit is crazy. Your credit line is crazy. You have those 5 bank accounts just working, money moving left and right. You're like a machine. You're a juggernaut. So you have to think bigger now. Okay. So now you're collecting rent from people that are driving your Uber cars and your tour cars, right? Now you have to move into real estate so that you could, or make plans for it at least, so that you could actually collect actual rent, or at least have some ownership. Put yourself in a property where you live in one of the units and you rent out the rest. That's a good startup way to do it. Find a nice real estate agent. Contact me if you need somebody. I have very good guys. Shout out to Vic the realtor. Shout out to Fed the realtor. Shout out to all my real estate guys, Lookman and the rest of them. Okay. So the next step now is that you want to keep your expenses low. You want to keep your expenses very low. You don't want to be a big spender. You want your expenses to be so low that in comparison to your income, it's very negligible or very insignificant. You want your income to be very high compared to your expenses. That's the way to make it to the end and still keep winning. You want to keep winning. You want to maintain your standard of living. If you're driving the 2022 Lamborghini, you want when the 2023 comes out, you get it because you have the means, you have the cash flow, you have everything involved. It's not a thing to you. And the only way to do that is to minimize your expenses. Keep only things that you need. You only need internet, you need to pay your cell phone bill. You need electricity and a few other. Keep your bills to the minimum. Don't get extra stuff you don't need. Don't go get all kinds of subscriptions. Keep it to the minimum. Know what you're subscribed to and keep those expenses low. Okay? Then the next step is this. I already talked about it. This is the final step. You need to pay all your bills on time and you need to pay them months ahead. So that way, at the end of the day, your relationship with these financial houses is not severed or affected in any way. You just keep building and having a more and more powerful relationship with these banks and with these credit houses and financial houses. Okay. So now you have these bank accounts, you have all these credit lines, you have these credit cards, you have these mortgages. You're paying all your bills ahead of time. And what you do when you're leveraging that opportunity to look very good in the eyes of these financial houses is that they keep releasing more credit to you. And before you know it, you're not just a millionaire, you're a certified millionaire, someone that could be Googled, you're a high value man, and you appear there on Google when people type in your name, they could verify and certify that you're exactly who you are. Once again, thank you guys. If you have any questions about getting certified, getting your car certified for Uber or Lyft, contact me. Shout out to Star Auto. I know the owners, and if you need to certify your car for Uber or Lyft, let me know, and we could arrange something for you to come into the shop and get your car Uber approved or Lyft certified. All right. And also, like you guys know, if you need your car moved around the city, towing, I'm your guy. If you need your car moved interstate, which means from state to state, I'm your guy. And if you also need to buy a car from Copart, IAA, Mannheim, or any of the national auctions, I'm your broker. I'm the guy that can make that deal happen. I'm out here, people contacting me from YouTube. I'm brokering deals every day. I don't charge crazy amount and crazy deposits like most of these other brokers. Most cases, my fees are not, high. They're not crazy. I charge about 150 and up, depend 200, the cost of five. So it depends. Like my fees are very fair. Okay. So contact me if you need that service. And if you also need body work, mechanic work, check out my video on that. And so you can understand what it is I do and how I make your life easier when you bring in your car to me for body work or mechanic work. I do make your life easier. We take in your car or we pick it up from your house and we leave you with a rental car so that your life is not affected because your car is getting fixed or repaired, either for mechanic or body work. Okay. So these are some of the services that I offer, and I want you guys to check it out so you can take advantage of it and go ahead to make your life easier. I offer more services than that, but I won't go into details than that. As we go on this channel, I will release more services that I offer and things that you could take advantage of. Okay. Once again, guys, thanks for coming in today to watch today's video. Today's video is finally over, and I appreciate you for coming here. If you're watching, thank you. And if you're new here, I appreciate you for checking in. Okay. Once again, like, dislike, subscribe, share with your friends so that we can make the community a whole lot bigger. Thank you guys. Bye.